Hello YouTube. I am just trying to showcase my second place Edison deck profile, and I am really excited to make my first video for Edison deck profiles and highlight Pacman. I know a lot of people don't like Pacman, but it keeps getting results at locals that I go to, so I just wanted to highlight its success. So for starters, if you're not sure what Pac-Man is, it got its name from this card, Deslakuta. Pure Advantage Camel munches all noobs. Literally played against some noobs at locals, and they're like, "What the hell does this do?" And it just wins games. I'm playing two Scarabs. I'm gonna change the ratios, but it was fine for this event. We'll play two Worms and then the one Golem Sentry. I think in the future, with a card I'm going to showcase in a little bit, I would swap these out, the Worms for more Golem Sentries, just because it works a little bit better with the secret sauce that we're showing. So we've got Morphine Jar. You want to set all your back row, and when Morphine Jar dissolves, you just get 5 more back row. Your opponent's really thrown off by it. It throws a wrench in their plan. They might not heavy you fast enough. Sometimes you just get lucky and they hold their heavy because they're like, oh, I want to make sure it resolves, and they lose it, and so you just win on the spot from there. Then Lava Golem. This card and Sentry Golem are really insane, which is why I want to play more Sentry Golem, is so you could just give them the Lava Golem, bounce to a Sentry Golem, and then if they decide to commit 2 more bodies, then you're just going to do the same thing over again unless they can out the Sentry Golem, which is typically not the easiest. So that's all for monsters. For spells, we are playing 2 Black Garden. This card is insane. Reason being is your monsters are all really weak. They have really low stats, and however, if I can find it, Sentry Golem specifically with Black Garden is unoutable. Because how Black Garden works is when a monster is normal special summon to either field, the opponent of that monster will get a token, and the monster summon gets its attack halved. The way the Pacman cards work is you want to set them and flip them face up. That won't proc Black Garden. And Golem has 1800 defense, which means that they would have to have a monster that they summon with basically over 3,000 attack points to beat over this thing. If they can't do that, then you're getting a free body on board, and then you're just going to bounce whatever they summon because they can't beat over your Sentry Golem. This card is really great because it also stops priority. Because how priority works is like it's the first thing that your opponent's able to do. However, this automatically chains to the summon. So if I normal summon a guy, this mandatory activates to summon a token. So if they summon a guy, I go Black Garden, it just happens automatically. And then there's a response window. So if you have Compulse or Book of Moon on like a Lone Fire Blossom, you are automatically able to respond in that window and they can't use Prio. This card is busted. So playing 2 of those. Stall cards, level limit area B. It's just broken. Swords of Oblivion Light. This card I like playing against other flip decks because you get to know what they're playing, and if it's a Raikou, then they forcibly out this, which is fine because like they probably out this anyways with the Raikou, but now you know what they're playing for sure. Another great card is Chalice. This works with really well against Raikou and other like flip monsters. It's also a really good way to deal with Jinzo. Jinzo cooks this deck. There's very little this deck can do to out the Jinzo. Like another tournament I went to, my opponent summoned 2 Jinzos off of Future Fusion, like 3 games in a row, and I'm like, okay, well, I can't do this. The only reason I got one of those games was because we were able to get this first. So this card is pretty necessary. It works in damage step. Sometimes it makes your guys extra big, and that matters. So It's just a good card. Maybe siding one of these out is fine depending on the matchup, but it just helps against everything that's going to cook your back row, and you really want to make sure your back row is live. Like one wave motion, um, you could opt to play more of this. I play one other in the side for time purposes, but you really don't need to play more than one. Like ideally, you're going to draw into it. You're going to protect it, and even if your opponent outs it, it's like, okay, you had my wave motion. I have 9 other ways I'm going to kill you. One MST just because Gladiator Beast and other decks that set back row can be really challenging. So you want to make sure that you're dealing with those as well. So that's all for spells. For the traps, Gravity Bind, Wall of Revealing Light. These are like your 2 main Floodgate trap cards. Wall of Revealing Light can be subbed out in time occasionally, but still, it's like the best of all the trap cards, because it just flat out stops everything from attacking. Gravity Bind, you can have level 3s and level 2s attack, and so that can be irritating at times, but it's fine. Then the MVP of the deck, Nightmare Wheel. This card is so broken. It makes it to where your opponent can't flip over monsters because they can't change their battle positions. So if my opponent sets a Raikou, or if they go like Mega Hamster, set Raikou, it's like, okay, Nightmare Wheel on the set, you're never getting rid of that card. Also, what's neat about this is like, unlike Fiendish Chain, which we are also playing 3 copies of, this card leaves the field when the monster leaves the field, so it doesn't stick around, whereas like Fiendish Chain and Call of Haunted do stick around. Fiendish Chain's also just great. It's kind of finicky at times. Like you do need it to stop your opponent from attacking at times, and so sometimes it's like, I really don't want to use it on their monster, but sometimes you just need to live. But still really good. Still need to play it. No, we're running the One Spice Scrap Iron Scarecrow. This card I'm really debating on. It's really good when it's good, and it's really bad when it's bad. Like sometimes your opponent just doesn't care about attacking, and they just want to combo off and make cards that are just going to eat your back row away. And this card does nothing against that. However, against Glad Beasts, if they're summoning one guy and they attack, this outs all the Glad Beasts. And then you can just flip your guys over the next turn and get advantage that way. My worry is that it's stalling the game out longer, so it gives your opponent more time to come back. I think if I'm gonna do better and actually get first place, subbing this out for Compulse might be a little bit better. We have the one-ofs, Magic Cylinder, Mirror Force. They're just broken. Great for killing your opponent by surprise. Great for making your opponent commit to attacking you when they don't want to. Just can't complain. And then the true MVP of all the trap cards is Threatening Roar. Buys yourself a turn, makes it to where your Pacman cards are always live. Your opponent can't do anything about it. Also, it can respond to Trap Stun. So Trap Stun is like your worst nightmare, which you're so ready for Trap Stun, but it's like this will just basically like make their Trap Stun useless. So it's like if they go Trap Stun as like the first action, or Cold Wave or something that's just gonna kill your back row, you go T-Roar, and so that way it's basically like they just wasted a card. And now for some annoying goo. Royal Oppression at 1, 2 Needle Sealing. I would not play more than one of this. I have the other one cited because not every deck cares about special summoning. Oftentimes your opponent just won't special summon. I don't know, it's a very match dependent card. Like against Gigavice, which is this deck actually plays really well into Gigavice. I would play more copies to just make sure that you're extra insulated. But yeah, like I wouldn't play 2 of this in the main. I'd play the other one on the side. And then the Needle Ceilings are just broken. Just kill 3 guys for free, basically. If your opponent wants to commit a big board, it's like, okay, nuke your board. Also, Black Garden, like generating more tokens to make sure that this card is live is really good because you don't really care about losing the tokens. Like they're just extra beat sticks to beat down your opponent. 1 Starlight Road, 1 Judgment. We play a second copy because, again, like, yes, this card is really good against heavy, but you're also playing Judgment, and you're also playing 3 Dark Bribes. 3 Dark Bribes, like, you don't really care about heavy. You have lots of ways to deal with heavy. This is really just meant for, like, Black Rose and other things that can pop more than 1 card at a time. It's fine, like, but again, it really just depends. Like, you definitely want 1 of this, but 2 is a bit of a stretch. And that's the deck. 40 cards even. The extra deck does not matter. We're just playing 2 Stardust and 2 Chimera Tech in case they misplay with their Cyber Dragons. For side deck, this is where things get interesting. So we'll play Swarm of Locusts and 2 Consecrated Lights. The Consecrated Lights will sub out for your Swarm of Scarabs because those are darks. And you can still flip them up and use their effects, but, like, it's fine. Like, you want to make sure that Caiuses and other dark monsters don't hit the board. So, like, Jinzo kills your deck. This deals with Jinzo. They can't summon it. It just wins games against that. And then this, you can main it, but your opponent typically isn't going to play more back row than you. This card is really just good against Gladiator Beach matchups because they oftentimes will want to set more back row. And so this will trade nicely. If you can protect this, they're going to lose on the spot because their whole gimmick is to protect their own castle. And so by using this, you can just deal with Glad Beast really effectively. But it's not worth maining because, again, you're more worried about opponents' monsters, not their spells and traps, typically speaking. Let me play 2 DD Crow just to deal with annoying graveyard things. Like, the value cards don't really matter. The stuff that really scares you is Judgment Dragon. Making sure that you can deal with Judgment Dragon effectively and also Jinzo's is really, really good. This card I'm debating on. Soul Release, I have activated and has never won me the game. It's just been like, oh, I guess this is nice. I'll play it just to play it. But, like, I think this is for sure switching out for another Compulse. Like, I would much rather have Compulse to deal with whatever gets summoned than to Soul Release, because this is not a quick play. Like, if this was a quick play card to deal with Graveyard, that'd be awesome. So it might be a DD Crow, it might be a Compulse, but you don't really need this card. This deck is not, like, that kind of aggressive. Like, this is a more aggressive build of Pacman, but it's not aggressive enough to really take full effect of this. Giant Grenade. Yes, it subs your backer out, but it makes it to where if your Fiendish Chain is dead, then you just get it back to hand and get to use it all over again. It also makes it to where pushing for game is a lot easier, because then you can just go Giant Grenade, attack with all your weenies, do a bunch of damage. They can't do anything about it. And then second wave motion, just for time purposes. Third Forbidden Chalice, just in case you really need it, but that might be switched out for something else. 2 Dust Tornado, just for other back row decks. Like, this deck is really good against monsters, but really kind of poor against other back row strategies, so having this really helps. Second Roll of Oppression, 7 tools against Trapstone. If we know the opponent's on Trapstone, we need a way to deal with Trapstone, and this is just a nice way of dealing with it. Massacre Strict, just to deal with any tribute guys. I'm thinking about playing more than 1 of this. I just only have the 1 copy right now, but I think playing 2 is a wise decision. And then Starlight Road. And that is everything for Pacman. This got me 2nd place. People just don't know what to do against this, or their decks are really good to beat, like Value Turbo and other things, but they just can't deal with the sheer amount of back row. I think it's like one of the best decks in Edison, solely because of how unconventional it is. If people are prepared for it, like Gladiator Beasts and whatnot, then it's fine. But, like, still, the deck is incredible. It can just deal with so much random BS, and the fact that you're unafraid to set 5 into a format that heavy exists makes it all that better. So yeah,